The nervous system asks three questions in this order. Am I safe? Am I loved? What can I learn? And if the answer to am I safe is no, the other two questions aren't asked. Or am I safe? Yes. Am I loved? No. What can I learn is not asked. But if the answers to the first two are yes, then we are naturally in a state of curiosity and play and ambition and exploring.
Mental health, emotional health, physical health, deeper understanding, actionable takeaways to improve your quality of life. We're the Level Up guys.
Even guys can have emotionally literate conversations, and we're the guys that are going to prove it.
We are the Level Up guys. Normally we're talking about like mental health techniques to be able to level up our lives. Today's topic is actually about pets. I'm a huge animal lover, always has been. So is Jared, who's here with me. We're talking about some of the benefits of having pets in our lives, where there's going to be emotionally, for maybe emotional regulation to make you get out of bed in the morning or all that. So this is going to be a really fun episode. Sometimes we go really deep. This is a little bit more lighthearted. This is about pets, whether it's cats or dogs. Some people like lizards or rabbits. Or I know, Jared, you're a cat guy traditionally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love dogs, but I have really loved owning cats. I've had two in my life, and something about the fact that like they make me work really hard for their affection, and also like cats just have good boundaries, right? Like I know that we had a boundaries episode. Cats just like manifest good boundaries of like, yeah, I don't feel like being on your lap right now, so I'm going to go over here now and do this thing. But then it's all the much more rewarding when when you kind of build trust and the relationship. So yeah. Anyways, I've been a cat guy. Love dogs too, though. And my wife is a dog person more than a cat person. So
I don't know why there's cat people and dog people. I think we should all just like get along. Like, geez. For all of my life, I have a dog and a cat now. I've had this as my third dog, and I was always like a dog guy. So my cat Ellis, he'll be two years old in a couple of weeks. It's my first cat I've ever had. So as an adult human being, I got a cat for the first time. And it was really interesting to be able to see the differences. You know, I know dogs and how they're, can behave and respond. And I love a little bit of canine psychology here.
I was just going to say that you were a dog trainer for a while.
Yeah, for a short amount of time in my life. Yeah. I mean, being a dog trainer is more about being a people trainer, giving people the tools to be able to like manage their pets. But it's been really cool.
Let me just say, it's the same thing working with kids. It's like, I'm a parent trainer, actually.
It's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. Yeah. I mean, a lot of dog training is recognizing that, a lot of these animals are reflections of our own emotions and our energies and our body language and our subconscious cues that we're giving off. A lot of people will talk to a dog and be like, oh my goodness, Chili, you're so cute and blah, 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 blah. Forgetting that dogs don't actually speak English. They speak body language and demeanor and energy and assertiveness and all of this type of stuff. But back to what I was saying, yeah, having a cat, I have a lot more appreciation for cats now that I've had a cat for, a year and a half. Oh, yeah, I'm a cat guy, dog guy. Yeah. And I know this, if I was in the middle of the woods, what I'm now most afraid of would be like a lion or a jaguar,
As opposed to like a wolf?
Fast and so agile, and he's got like fangs and claws. He's a little sweetheart, but I can see him sometimes playing with a bug.
Yeah.
Boy, if you had a lion coming after you, that'd be a bad news.
So like instead of a wolf, you would prefer a wolf to like a jaguar.
Yeah. Here's an interesting fact. I'm sure you've heard this. A lot of people have probably heard this. A cat's purring. A cat purrs at like a frequency, I think it's between like 50 or 25 and 150 hertz. That's the frequency of a cat's purr. And the frequency of vibration that heals muscle and tissue repair and bones is between 25 and 50. This is a common belief that the cat's purring can have a therapeutic. So right out of the gate, it can actually have like a physical benefit to us having that vibration. I mean, as far as like a mood lifter, there's nothing better than a pet. I mean, if I go out to the mailbox and back, my dog is so excited, like I just returned from the Himalayas, and simply by, even like petting a dog or petting a cat, we can really like emotionally regulate. I mean, that's the first one I'd say, like emotional regulation. That's a big one. Having any sort of a pet like that.
Absolutely, right. And I mean, even simply down to the sensory experience, right? If we actually practice some mindfulness, which pets almost encourage us to do, right? Like just being present in the moment, like our senses, using our senses and tuning into our senses help us do that. And so even just like petting the soft fur or, just having the warm, body of the pet on your body in some way, the pressure like against your chest, over on your lap, stuff like that, right? It's almost like an automatic practice of mindfulness, without like intentionally being like, I'm going to do a mindfulness practice right now. I mean, I'm sure there could be more benefits if you tackle it that way, right? But even still, just like having a pet around is going to naturally, as you said, like give that emotional regulation. And I think the other really cool thing about it is that already kind of mentioned is like they tend to mirror our energy, and also we mirror their energy, right? And so like, when we're feeling sad, like pets just kind of know, right? And they like come up and give us that like I'm here with you in it kind of vibe. And yeah, there's something about that like empathy that just shows up. Like, I don't know if you've had that experience, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a judgment free, love. If I'm
Yeah.
not having my best day, or if I got something's not going on, or if I got a bad haircut, or I got, my feet smell, like they don't care. They love it the same. It's not a judgmental thing. And
Yeah.
what I love about pets too is they don't really like judge themselves. They don't have the insecurities that human beings do. They're like, oh, I need to poop, so I'm gonna poop right now in the front yard, and there's no like worry about, oh, my tail isn't, right
Yeah.
today, or
Right. Do I look silly? Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
like living in the moment. They're not thinking like, oh, last week. Traditionally, like dogs do have like reflective, emotions from trauma from the past, but then
Mhm.
they're not typically thinking like, oh, well, last week this happened, so you're on the bad side of me. They really live in the present moment.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
their trauma, and I mean, for most animals, their traumas come from like physical threat as opposed to like, for humans, it can be, oh, I hope I didn't look silly in that meeting, right?
Right.
Like, no dog is ever worried about looking silly, right? It's more like, oh, my trauma comes from that time that I got bit by a bigger dog or, or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of it's conditioning too. Like we're designed through repetition, to have these conditioned responses. Like as we all know, repeated things are remembered and
Hmm.
remembered things are repeated.
Hmm.
If you angrily punish your dog and put them in their crate every day, it's going to be a fearful place.
Yeah.
But if you throw a couple little bones in there and make it like a really happy experience to go in there, like reconditioned, you
Mm.
know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
That
also
was,
noticed too, there's been times in my life where I've been going through stuff like my dad passed away or whatever, and I had a dog. Well, I had to get out of bed, and I had to get up, and it almost elicited some sort of like executive function out of me, even though I
mm.
didn't want to. I would have preferred you to stay in bed and be sad and depressed, but I had to get up. I had to take the dog for a walk and like feed him and take care of him. So it kind of forced me, to for
Yeah.
movement and action.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I looked this up before we started. So there was a bunch of people surveyed, and 74% of surveyed people reported improvements with their mental health just by having a pet.
Yeah.
74%. Like that's a lot of people, and it's possible that the other, 26% were not experiencing mental health issues at the time, right? But like, so that's just a really high percentage. And I mean, you mentioned like the getting out of bed thing, right? So yes, like you're required to be in motion, which we know releases, a lot of healthy neurotransmitters and hormones into our body that are going to make us feel good and like kind of better able to cope with life's stressors. But it also potentially puts you out in nature where fresh air and sunlight is also going to serve those things and potentially even put you in a social situation where you are experiencing like being in a 3D world present with other people, right? Oh, your dog's so cute. Or like, they have a dog and now your dogs are sniffing butts and it's like, oh, hey, how's it go? Like, so even that, the fresh air, the sunlight, the being in motion, being in nature and socializing in the 3D world with people, like all of those are prescriptions for better mental health.
I want to touch upon a thing you just said about that percentage of people who got a positive response from having a dog. Some of the people who maybe didn't have a positive response, like the fit matters. The
Mm,
fit really matters. If you're a long distance runner and you want to have a dog to be your companion, like don't get a pug.
mm,
If you're a little old lady who's retired and lives a slow life, like don't get a golden retriever
yeah,
because it could actually be like a non-therapeutic, non-relaxing type thing, you know?
that's a really good point. Yeah.
But yeah, to continue on with what you were saying, I think pets, especially dogs, because you can take them out into the world with you,
Mm,
are great like social lubricants, if that's even a thing.
yeah.
I know when I got my dog Chili, he was a puppy, and I was single, and he would ride on my motorcycle with me on a special box in the back. He's now too big, which makes me sad. He's
Mm,
outgrown it.
mm,
But so he would ride my motorcycle with me in the back with his shades on, right? And I had a backpack, so he would come like into the grocery store with me in the backpack. And I
yeah.
couldn't go 10 feet without somebody wanting to talk to me, be like, oh my God, it's so cute. Can I pet your
Yeah.
dog? It's
Yeah.
amazing. And can't believe a dog riding a motorcycle. And I had more social interactions because of that kind of ice breaking thing than I would have normally just as a dude walking around by myself.
Right, like in a grocery store or whatever, or
Yeah.
yeah. That I mean, that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, and I think that the social lubricant is a great term for it. Right, it makes not only you more likely to like be to receive people's interactions about your dog because you probably like, you think the world of your dog, and so if somebody else is interested, it's like, oh yeah, I could tell you all the wonderful things about him, and do you have an hour? Um, but then also so like being more able to kind of receive the social input and more ready to, but then also yeah, like for the other people who may have some anxiety about just approaching somebody, it's like, oh, I can talk about dogs, like that's, I love dogs, they probably do too if they have one in their backpack.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you don't love dogs, you're kind of dead to me anyhow. So I'm sure. I mean, what? They're dogs.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm curious to hear a little about your experience, what whether personal or just like knowledge based about you know training dogs or training pets. Actually, I remember I had called upon you because at the time I was moving in with a girlfriend who had a dog and I had a cat, and you helped us kind of get the dog and cat used to each other because prior to that, the dog was going after my cat, and my cat, was doing like parkour off of everything to get away, and all we knew how to do was like, yell at the dog and separate him, and that was just not working.
Right.
Right, that just made the dog even more afraid. So yeah, like I would love to hear, any, it could be inclusive of that experience that, but yeah, just like what are some memorable moments or takeaways from that kind of knowledge base and personal experience that you have?
Yeah. I mean, it really is. I think it's one of those topics that's overcomplicated. Like I'm a yoga teacher, a fitness instructor, so yeah, fitness and yeah, way overcomplicated. Nutrition, I think it's way overcomplicated. Dog training, same type of thing. But what we tend to do is anthropomorphize animals, right? Like I have to remember. So I have a dog, and his name is Chili. So I look at him; he's cute little hound, right? And it's Chili. But if I back it up from his name, I'd say, okay, then I have his breed, right? Then I have, okay, then he's a canine. And then I back it up. Well, foundationally, he's an animal, right? And if I really love Chili, I can't look at him like my little 1 year old little Chili baby. He's an animal who has certain animalistic requirements. And sometimes the breed can dictate those requirements.
Mm,
So Chili, he's a beagle and a hound, and those are hunting dogs. So when I got him and I introduced him to Ellis the cat, I was really mindful that Chili's going to look at Ellis as prey. The small fur, like he was bred by human beings to like
Yeah.
to kill that thing.
Right.
So it's my responsibility to set the parameters of, who we are and kind of what we're doing. Yeah.
Hmm.
But oftentimes it's way overcomplicated. If you treat an animal with respect and if you're calm and if you're assertive with what you want, dogs, again, don't speak English. They'll know a certain number of words. They'll know how you say it,
Hmm.
you know?
You
Oh
mean
my
like the tone?
goodness, you're the
Yeah.
worst dog I've ever met. I hate you so much. The dog will come right over, right?
Yeah.
Good dog. Sit. It's scary, right? It's your tone of voice, right?
Yeah.
If you stand with your chest up and your chin up, right? It's a very like assertive position. If I were to kind of like roll my shoulder back and have a little bit open like that, maybe don't look you directly in the eye, a nervous dog might come over. So it's like, okay, the dog speaks like body language and energy and has certain requirements, like walking. One of the things I love about dogs is you have to walk your dog. Anybody out there, look, fish swim and birds fly and dogs walk. If you have a dog, you need to get off the couch and walk your dog for like 45 minutes to an hour, walking your dog around the block. And
Yeah.
that doesn't mean, you know, the dog is out there in the lead and you're holding on for dear life and you're going to,
Well, on your phone, right?
yeah, you're on your phone and, the dog's going to stop wherever you want. I'm going to tinkle here. I'm going to go to the bathroom over here. I'm going to stop and smell. No, it's a walk. It's like a dedicated walk, which is some of the best forms of exercise. Like when I was in high school, Jared, I could do gym class all day. And what it created in me is excitement. Like if I throw a ball for Chili, it creates energy and excitement.
Mm.
If we go for a walk, it's like math class. And when I came out of math class, I was exhausted, like mentally exhausted because I had to focus, right? You got to stay next to me and we're doing this thing. We have this pace. So that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, yeah. So for human beings, since 74% of Americans are overweight or obese, oh my goodness, get a dog, go for a walk. You're going to feel better. You might meet some people. You'll have a companion that's going to be non-judgmental. Like, that's great. This is why I don't go to shelters because I'll have all the dogs.
Because you'll just take them all.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, so when you said the walk is like a math class, are you saying that it's like a math class for the dog? Like that they are exhausted by the end of it because of all the work that they're doing?
Yeah. From the mental discipline of having to like stay by your side and walk and, not just chase everything haphazardly
Hmm.
around,
Yeah.
following where you're going, as you're
Yeah.
leading the walk and leading the experience.
And it might have been even you who told me this, but I remember hearing somewhere that like one of the most mentally engaging parts of walks for dogs is the smell aspect of it. Is just like being out in the world, detecting this smell, that smell, this smell, that smell, and just by the nature of how they came through evolution, they're so tied to their smell, and so it is like activating. Probably like all like the dopamine, all of the positive neurochemicals for them to feel like, okay, I'm in my element. In the same way that that can happen with humans when we're, in our element.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I read somewhere that having a dog is associated with lower cholesterol, right? Probably from the exercise, better heart health in general, lower risk of heart disease. It's just like, as you said, like regulates, kind of slows the heart
Yeah.
rate, like blood pressure is down. Um, Even saw somewhere, I had to look up what this even was. It lowers triglycerides, a type of fat found in your blood.
Yeah.
Like all of these positive health benefits. The studies that I at least read about were saying like yes, obviously because you're in movement, but also just like the presence of them, even dog owners that were not as frequently walking dogs experienced some of these benefits. Now that's not if you have a dog, as you said, like dogs walk, and this is the way to have a healthy dog and to be healthy ourselves, right? But yeah, so there's that aspect of it too. But so you had a dog growing up, it sounds like. Is that right?
No, not
Oh no.
growing up. My dad had one cat for like every year of my life. I was
Mhm.
never allowed to have a dog growing up.
Ah, okay.
So on my 18th birthday, I got a puppy.
Mm,
Yeah.
gotcha. Yeah. I never was allowed to have a dog either. It was something that my brother and I, probably every year or two would try to pressure my parents into it. And they never caved, but I ended up with a cat later in life. Actually, when I had moved to California, this was like a real kind of I'm independent kind of moment. I decided to adopt a cat because my roommate was really into fostering cats. So, a number of them would come and live with us. I think there was five maybe, would come and live with us. And then as people were ready to adopt, they would, you know, sign the paperwork, whatever, and they would leave our home. And one of them, while we were fostering them, just really bonded with me. And I was like, I know where your home is. It's with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and at that point, actually, I honestly, I'm not sure that I would have described myself as a cat person up until that point, as I'm kind of reflecting on it. Like growing up, I always wanted a dog. I never wanted a cat,
Yeah.
but just by being in this particular situation and developing this bond, it was so special. I mean, she was my companion for 13 years of my life, and from West Coast to East Coast.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got my
Shout
my
out, wait. Shout out to Ashes.
Ashes. I mean, Ash. I have a picture of Ashes nestled in like my gig bag, my guitar gig bag. Well,
Oh
I think
yeah.
we were practicing one night playing music, and then you like snuggled right in there.
Yeah, black cat, snuggle into black, guitar gig bag.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she
Good
was
place to
great.
be. And yeah, the reason I got a cat is after my last dog Riley passed away, which was torturous. It was She was essentially at home in hospice for probably like 7 months, just
Yeah.
slowly fading away. It was torture.
Yeah.
But
And
after that,
I knew Riley like in her younger years, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, we used to play music in my basement back in Massachusetts, and I got Riley as a puppy then. I mean,
Yeah.
Riley moved down to North Carolina. It was like, oh my God, I'm heartbroken. I could barely talk about it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready to get another dog because there's a certain level of responsibility you have to have, and I was heartbroken. So I took a
Mm.
fly. I said, "Oh, I think I can get a cat because it seems like they're inherently more independent. You don't have to, maybe train so much or do so much," which is true. He's great, you know.
Yeah.
That was my impetus for getting a cat. But this was I think one of the greatest heartbreaks or tragedies of our human existence is no matter how long we live, a cat or a dog is going to live, what, 14 years,
Yeah,
13
if you're
years?
lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know it on my 18th birthday when I got my first puppy that I was signing up for heartbreak.
Mm.
And so my second dog, I'm like, okay, now I know that I had this window. And it gave me, I think, now I have my third dog and a cat. I think I've had this slow drip of an appreciation for the moment and mortality and impermanence. Because you can have the best dog in the world. You can have Lassie roll in, and it's a decade, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe less if you have a big dog. Like it's in the impermanence of our existence and the moments of being like, hey, you know, you're a great dog. Thanks for being in my world right now. Like with this great team. Like, how upset could I be that you're barking your face off, or you dug a hole in the backyard, or you chewed up my hat? You know, because you're an animal. I have to respect that.
Yeah. Man, so I did not see the podcast going in this direction, but I love it. So let me ask you, because I didn't grow up with that. As so I'm even my parents didn't have an animal. I was allowed turtles and grow a frog and like some goldfish that we typically fed to the turtle. Um, but I didn't because I it wasn't another mammal. Well, actually, I don't know. Can't say that that's the reason. But I wasn't really allowed to touch it. It was always behind the glass, right? Whatever it was. And so I didn't develop the same bond with it as I did my cats and dogs that I've known. Um, and so I didn't really ever, as a child, get a like that training ground for loss and impermanence. And so I just want to hear more about that as if you can share. Again, it can be specific or just kind of thematic takeaways.
Yeah, well, my first dog I had, her name was Jessie. I had her for 13 years and she got cancer. Um, and we went through all of the protocol of chemo and surgeries and doing all the stuff, and she passed away. And I was like you would be, like anybody listening would be, crushed,
Hmm.
crushed. Like a family member was gone, but maybe somehow it feels weird to say it, but somehow even deeper in a different way. And I remember my father passed away, and then 2 weeks later, Jesse passed away. And there was this strange dichotomy in my mind where I'm like, well, my dad was 78 and he lived a great life. And okay, I'm heartbroken. Jesse, she slept in bed with me and she came everywhere with me like my wallet. She was my fuck. I mean, I felt like, deep loss in both arenas. One's a dog, one's a human being. I get it. But,
Mm,
if you know, you understand what I'm saying. It was a
yeah.
heartbreak. Yeah.
Yeah. What
So
did
then having my second dog, Riley, I'm like, okay, at any moment, you could get hit by a bus. I could do this. Something could. So over the course of the years of having animals, I think it, nurtured in me this appreciation and respect for our mortality and the impermanence of things. And if I don't appreciate this today, I might not have a chance to do it tomorrow.
So I have a really abstract question that you can have no idea how to answer, and that
Yeah.
would be okay. But if you can try, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Um, what did you learn about the experience of loss through those losses? Like, what did you learn about yourself, maybe, um, through the loss of those pets?
Yeah, boy, that's a heavy question. I didn't see that coming out of left field. What did I learn about myself through the loss of those pets? Um,
Or just learn about loss in general. Like
yeah,
what kind of s- narrative or story did you come away with?
yeah. I mean, the greatest takeaway is that time heals all wounds. That saying, "Time heals all
Hmm.
wounds." I don't think it does. I think time helps all wounds, but
Hmm.
those wounds are important for us to have to remember. Like the depth of loss might be equated to the depth of love.
Mm,
Is
yeah.
if you lost your turtle versus ashes, what's the difference?
The depth of loss is equated to the depth of love. That is a nice takeaway, buddy.
And
Damn. That's the beauty of not seeing where things are going.
I
Yeah.
mean, maybe because with the turtle you didn't have the sensory thing. This is why I'm not a snake guy. I don't know if you can like snuggle with a snake. I guess you can for a amount of time. But they become part of your soul. They become part of your being. If you're really like an animal person, if a person broke their arm and then a dog broke their leg, I think a lot of people would be like, "You'll be fine. This poor little animal needs my help."
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Suck it up, Buttercup. I need to help this. I need to help this little, goose cross the road,
Yeah.
or whatever it is. There's something. Maybe it's about the vulnerability of an animal where,
Mm.
they're from wolves, but they're not wolves anymore. They've been domesticated, and for a dog to live their best life, like they need us.
Hmm.
They don't know that that's traffic, and they don't know that that's poison, and they don't know that if I chew that cord, they could get electrocuted. Right? It's our
Yeah.
responsibility to be able to put them in an environment to be able to live happy lives that are, where they're taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. Yeah. Good answer, man. I like
But
that.
thank you. Yeah, now it makes me want to go get a puppy. Yeah.
Chili will be like, say what?
Yeah, and definitely not even if I was, like I said, going back to matches. I wanted to get a pretty small dog. I've never had a small dog, but I wanted to get a small dog because I only ride motorcycles. So, and I know that I can have a dog in the back of my
Mm,
motorcycle, be safe about it, great.
yeah.
And so I thought it was a perfect fit. But then he grew and he grew and he grew and he grew and he grew, and now he's too big. So he's not the perfect fit for me because now I might have to buy a car, right?
Mm,
So getting a dog isn't a spur of the moment thing, but I think going back to that matching, like making sure that, kind of like if you're in a relationship or a spot with somebody, yes, opposites can attract, but I often think that like attracts like. You
Hmm.
know, if I'm kind of athletic and into fitness and you're kind of more of a couch potato, we might not be the best over the course of time.
Sure.
You know, if
Sure.
I'm in a hot yoga and I love it sweaty in the hot room and you live in Alaska, I don't know if we're right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, interesting. So something that a friend of mine was saying about um, pets and owning pets that I thought was an interesting take on it that maybe I can hear a little bit of your thoughts or just a reflection. Well, that's the same thing. Your thoughts and a reflection from you is the same damn thing. All right. Um, but he was saying, women socially kind of grow up in like a more like the norm is more like just knowing how to be in a caretaking role, right? And that's less the norm for men. Men are told they're strong and independent and and free and do whatever. And so he was saying like owning a dog is almost like a socially accepted caretaking role for a man.
Hmm.
And I thought that was really interesting. And he actually said owning pets, and then I started to do my own thinking about it, and I was like, I think socially accepted for a man is owning a dog. There is sometimes a stigma, and not everybody feels this way, but there sometimes is a stigma about a guy that is like a cat dad, right?
Yeah. How
So
about how about a guy who like owns a yoga studio? He was a yoga teacher who has a cat.
there you go. But to kind of go back to the original thing, like um, a more normalized caretaking role for a man or for men or even young teenage men or children is like being in the caretaking role of a dog. And like it's a way that you can kind of that they can practice being responsible for another thing. And yeah, having an emotional connection.
You're totally right. It's a really socially acceptable thing. See, you had a really masculine looking man, right, with a little puppy. Yeah, the little baby is going to nurture that dog. Yeah, endlessly.
Yeah. So stereotypically speaking, um, I think it's almost more intuitive for a guy to know how to take care of a dog versus to know how to take care of a baby, right? Or things like that. And part of me wonders if evolution's at play or just kind of social roles and the things that are kind of assigned to us by society's expectations. But yeah, anyways, we don't have to dwell on it. I just thought that that was an interesting point to bring up.
Yeah, no, it really is. It really is. It made me think about if the practice of having a dog, since like what percentage of communication is nonverbal? It's a really high percentage,
Yeah, oh,
right?
yeah.
And to properly have a dog or a cat, you have to learn to read their body language, which
Yeah.
interestingly enough, in a cat and a dog is almost the exact opposite.
Mm,
You know, like if a dog's tail is like wagging and twitching, it's happy. And if a cat's tail is wagging and twitching, watch out.
yeah.
And if a dog's ears are up or back and a cat's ears are up, they can mean totally different things. Like dogs love having their belly rubbed, and a cat will rip your face off.
Yeah.
Right. But so I wonder if just the natural practice of reading these little signals and these cues in animals helps us communicate better with our fellow human beings, these animals, through all of those, subconscious, unconscious little cues that people give, even though their mouth is saying one thing, how's their tail wagging? Are their hackles up? Like, what's their pupils look like? Just the things we might naturally practice having dogs,
Yeah.
cats.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's a really good point. And I think that while it's like imperative to be able to read body language and also give off like be conscious of the body language that we give off for cats and dogs, otherwise, we get like unhealthy versions of them or anxious or whatever. Um, it's really important with humans too, right? Like we are also animals that respond to body language, as you're kind of getting to, right? And
Yeah.
but it's less intuitive because we have language, right? To kind of cover up that aspect of things. But you're right that like if you said to a person like, "Oh my God, I hate you so much. Like you're the just worst and I kind of want to put my hands around your neck," and right? Like if you were to say it in that tone, like that's almost even more concerning than if they said it in
Creepy.
a threatening way, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually remember, I learned that like language is very centered in the left hemisphere of the brain, whereas kind of like emotional and social perception and kind of tuning into things like that is more kind of right hemisphere of the brain. And as a society, we are so left hemisphere of the brain focused. Like the nonverbals are not to be underrated for humans too.
Yeah.
And I mean, tying into the nervous system, I know we've done episodes on the nervous system. I don't know which one will come out. Actually, I think the nervous system episode is going to come up before this one. But um, so like I learned, so this is from a book that I recently listened to called Beyond Anxiety by Martha Beck. And she said that the nervous system asks three questions in this order. Am I safe? Am I loved? What can I learn? And if the answer to am I safe is no, the other two questions aren't asked. Or am I safe? Yes. Am I loved? No. What can I learn is not asked. Right. But like again, by the nervous system, right? Or and so but if the answers to the first two are yes, then we are naturally in a state of curiosity and play and ambition and like exploring. And so it it really makes me think, like with pets, how important our body language is to communicate these things to their nervous system, right? Am I safe? Yes, you're safe. Am I loved? Yes, you're loved. So that they can stay in their state of curiosity and play and engage, right? Because a scared animal will hurt the veterinarian trying to save it. Like we need to model regulation first and have the pet experience co-regulation, in the same way that like and we said this kind of looping back to the beginning. um they mirror our energy, but we also will mirror theirs, and so if we're purposeful about that, we can really create a bond.
This was one of the greatest evolutions in my own success with training dogs. And I think one of the biggest differentiations between human psychology and canine psychology is if, for example, it's the 4th of July and there's fireworks going off and the dog is shivering and scared. If I go over and I pet him on the head and I say, it's okay, good boy, it's okay. What I'm saying directly is, good to be scared. Do exactly what you're doing. You're supposed to be scared. I'm reinforcing what you're doing right now.
Mm.
Okay. If it's a baby, then you're going to pick up the baby and be like, it's okay. It's fine. That's what you're supposed to do. It's a different, right? So if there's fireworks and I'm calm and there's no big deal and I'm not putting on any sort of like excited energy, the dog will respond to that energy. And it's the biggest mistake I made with my first dog. And the best thing that I've done is, if it's a scary situation, if Chili seems scared about something that's not really scary.
Yeah, say thunderstorm or something, right?
I don't respond to it. I don't respond to it. If you crawl in the tub and you're scared I'm not going to be like, oh my goodness, it's okay. Because I'm reinforcing that feeling. And I want you to know it's fine. Nothing bad is going to happen. Be a reflection of my energy. I'm calm. I'm composed. Can be a reflection of my energy, which is great because that helps in my own co-regulation. If I come home from work and I'm feeling a certain way and I feel it a bit whatever, and if I see my dog start to be like, yeah, screw those guys, and he's, oh no, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, so you're raising such a good point because that happens with dogs and children, right? They start to take on whatever, it's so much of a mirror, right? These things that can't help but become a mirror of us. And we can use that as a cue to change, to be like, if you saw yourself in the mirror, you'd be like, oh, that's not how I want to be doing right now. But for so many people, when they see that behavior or mentality or whatever mirrored back to them from, pets or children, they get angry at the pets or children,
Right.
or frustrated at the very least, annoyed
Yeah.
maybe. And yeah, but it's like, if you know that that is a mirror, then what a path to insight if you choose to take it.
Yeah, I don't want to put what I'm going through, my anxiety or whatever I'm feeling. I don't want to put that on you because I love you so much as this little animal, this little helpless little thing, this little cat, this little dog, right? I want to, do my breathing exercise, do whatever I need to do so that I'm going to be a positive reflection of energy. And then
Yeah.
you're going to be, and then we have this symbiotic relationship, not based on the 25 words that you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing about pets that I think is just beautiful is that they are such an embodiment of like using their senses and their kind of what is within them. There's their instinct to move towards joy,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, I mean, like, what a nice modeling of like tune into your senses, be present, and move towards things that bring you joy. Like, that instinctively bring you joy. Not that necessarily bring you relief, right? But that just like truly bring you joy. It's a really
So
wonderful.
someone one time really poetically and beautifully had this concept of why dogs are so happy.
Hmm.
And the reasoning was this. Like for every year of us is 7 dog years, essentially, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't really work like that. Like in the beginning, it's a lot more compressed. But so let's just say for every week that we live, they get 1 day. So in that 1 day, they have to live a week's worth of happiness and joy and excitement. So when a dog wakes up in the morning, they only have 24 hours to live what we would do in a whole entire week. So they are ready to go, happy, bounding up, ready to, let's get the ball. I want to go for a walk. This is the best thing ever. I can't wait to see you. Like, because they have a limited amount of time.
Hmm. Right, almost like this body awareness of my time is limited. I am impermanent.
Yeah,
Whereas like humans often forget that about ourselves, right?
right.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that it's silly because it implies like an elevated level of like canine consciousness where they know these calculations and all of that. But to
And
me, it's a good reminder because it seems like life is very long, doesn't it?
yeah.
But no, it's not. Because yesterday I was 19. It seems like.
Yeah.
So I try to take a lot of inspiration from, you know, when my dog Chili is excited for every day to chase the ball, endless excitement. He's so like, I think he's going to get bored of it or, scratching behind the ears or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have it built into my wellness routine every morning. We all have like our morning routine thing, but I have it built into my routine. This certain moment for 5 or 10 minutes where I lay on the floor, and Chili knows to come sit right next to me, and I have treats, obviously, the great, motivator. And Ellis, my cat, will come sit on my chest because I'm thinking about muscle repair and tissue repair because, I do a lot of athletic stuff in my life. So I spend 10 or 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, kind of there meditating, giving these guys treats, like setting myself up for the day,
Mm.
you know? So they've kind of created this like personal routine where we're all like together as this little group getting ready for whatever the day, might happen in the day.
Yeah. It's like this active heart repair right in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Like lying on the cat lying on your chest purring, right?
Yeah.
To give you that sonic frequency. Your dog is just kind of, you know, I'm sure, licking you, wanting to cuddle, like loving the treats, like
Yeah.
chowing down. Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm a professional yoga teacher. I'm not about to tell all of our listeners that, yeah, a cat lying in your chest is going to have, tremendous amount of, tissue repair. I don't think anybody really knows. But if you believe there's something to it, or if you believe there's not something to it, you're probably right.
Hmm.
I think that there's something to it. And maybe in my own mind, my own subconscious, I'm creating this positive effect just because the seed has been planted,
Mm.
right? I don't think
Yeah.
if you break your arm, you should just stay home with the cat on your lap and wait for the bone to heal. You probably want to go to the emergency room.
Yeah. Right. It's like, all right, cat, you're up.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
maybe later in the recovery.
Yeah. Just you go to the hospital, it's just full of cats. Be like, just hang out with these guys, you're all set.
That would probably help the healing, I imagine, right? Like have the hospital do their thing, but can you imagine a hospital, assuming the allergies and sterile space was not a problem, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine like a hospital that just has cats and maybe even dogs about for like therapeutic and physical healing purposes.
Well, they do have therapy dogs that will go to
Right.
hospitals and cancer wards and nursing homes for those exact reasons. Calming therapeutic actions of having a little pet, even if it's not
Oh,
yours, even if you're like visiting a dog for, a couple of minutes.
yeah. Yeah. When we are in that experience, our cortisol stress hormone levels drop. And um, I remember learning about the body that we can't feel relaxed and stressed at the same time. It's either one or the other. Our bodies just aren't wired to experience any form of both. And so it's so valuable to create these moments of relaxation, right? Or like lower the stress because in those moments we're also reducing inflammation. Stress causes inflammation. There are so many studies about it. And inflammation causes a lot of other things. Oh, here we go. Here's the kitty.
Hey.
Yeah.
He's like, nope.
Can you say meow? He's
I
like,
love it. He's so independent. He's like, no, I don't want to be
yeah,
loved right now.
get me the meow out of here.
Yeah. I
It's
think
like,
dogs are kind of like cartoon characters and cats are like ninjas. I mean, he's black with yellow eyes. He's like a magic little, yeah. But I love it. I mean, I love also too how you can like notice in your own personality, like I have elements of like puppy dog in me, and I
mm,
definitely have elements of cat. I love the independence and the, I don't know, ferocity of my cat. You know what I mean?
hmm
Um, yeah, and I love like the lightheartedness, and the need for love and seeking attention of my dog.
mm,
All how he has to be like with the group and all together, and you know
yeah.
runs right over to you, where the cat's like, "I'll be there when I'm ready."
Yeah, that's oh man, that's really great insight off the cuff. Like now I'm thinking of, whenever you and I see each other, you're always like, "Hey Jarrett, what's going on?" Like you just have this like dog energy that I had never thought about it in that way
Yeah,
of, yeah, that's a really nice insight.
yeah, but there's also aspects of me like I think when I'm riding my motorcycle because it's a risky endeavor that I do all of the time. I think I'm a little bit more cat. So
Hmm.
here's something that I say in yoga, and it has to do with mindfulness. Mindfulness is this term, it's like an overused term, however, it's really important.
Hmm.
I think if we're going to be mindful in our lives, mindful with our therapy, with our diet, with our workouts, whatever it is, I look at it this way. If you think about a cat on the hunt, a cat hunting, right? Every step, every footfall, every twitch of the whisker is thoughtful and controlled and slow and intentional and intense. This is how I practice yoga when I'm on my mat. I try to move like a cat. I don't move like a
Mm,
dog. Hey
mm,
you guys, oh my god, that's would be my dog. But my cat
yeah.
is like move like a cat. Practice
Mm,
yoga, walk, run, sit, communicate with people like a cat would do. It's very intentional.
mm.
Cats aren't really like, unless they're playing with stuff, but it's an element of mindfulness.
Yeah. That's another really great connection there. Yeah, I'm imagining like what would dog energy look like on the yoga mat, and what I'm imagining is like somebody who's trying to hold a pose but like maybe falls out of it and immediately just like jumps back into the pose, right? As opposed to like full reset,
Yeah.
gradual, raise my foot,
Yeah.
gradual, breath, something that's more cat energy like.
Yeah. Like you're stalking, like like every move is like a thoughtful move. It's not just
Mm.
these reactionary things that we're doing all of the time.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
nice imagery for yoga. That's
But I think
great.
we have to have both because then you need the playfulness of a puppy and the freedom of a dog to just, be up in your face, drooling with a tongue hanging out and just being like silly.
You just made me think of this too, which is like, so tell me if this resonates because I don't want to project something that isn't really accurate to how you see it, but like for yoga, have the mentality of a dog and the body movement of a cat, or like the intention with your
Oh, I
body
love
of a
that.
cat.
I love that. I'm teaching at 5. Let's go. I
All right,
love
yeah,
that.
use it,
Yeah. No, for
right?
real. Yeah.
That's
Because
yeah,
they're both important. Like, I mean, my cat is very serious. He's very, you know,
yeah.
You need to have, I think you have all that. It's a bouquet of all of the stuff that we need.
Yeah, because when I
Yeah.
think of like dog mentality, as you said, it's like, you know, if I fall, like my mentality is like, "Oh, okay, I'm just gonna move towards joy again, right? Or like I'm just gonna kind of mentally reset in almost this impulsive way, right?
Yeah.
But then how do I make my body reset and then re-engage in a super purposeful way,
Yeah.
like a cat?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. That's the level up moment right there.
There's also this. Here's something else I think too is that I think dogs might have more. A lot of my guy friends throughout my life have been more dog-like. I don't mean in a bad way.
Hmm.
And more of my lady friends, girlfriends, friends,
Hmm.
I think we're more cat-like.
Hmm.
Like if you and I were to get like in an argument, probably within an hour or so, we'd be good. We'd hash it out. It'd be great. You know?
Sniffing each other's butts, whatever.
Yeah. If we were female, it's quite possible that you would hold on to it for the next 18 months. And like, oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you later on. You know? Dogs seem to have like, you just let it go. If something happens, just let it go. You know, if I accidentally step on your paw, oh shit, but you let it go and you're fine. Where the cat is like, it's in the bank, buddy. I'm gonna
Right.
remember.
Well,
I'm gonna remember this for later.
I think with cats, like I've stepped on my cat's tails accidentally, or whatever, and if I just dismiss it or be like, "What the fuck are you doing underneath me?" or whatever, like that they do not just kind of return into the relationship. Like you have to do a much more purposeful returning into relationship with the cat.
Yep.
And I kind of learned that relatively quickly, and it became a little bit intuitive. But now that you're saying it, yeah, that makes sense. And so,
Yep.
and I think that there's some value to like requiring a purposeful re-entry into relationship. Like I think even for dogs like that, um, like maybe they don't need that, but like would it feel good to them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think you're right. Yeah, I do think you're right. It seems very. It's almost like a sexist thing to say. However, I think there's a lot of truth to it. I think there's a lot of truth to it, and I think especially with that follow up, that I wonder if the fellas of the world, if the men of the world would really appreciate it, even if we don't seem like we need it, more of a lengthy response if you step on our tail. Because
Hmm.
even if we say, I'm fine, it's totally fine, we're back, what would it feel like if we were like, are you really okay? Like a cat, treating us, treating men, treating dog, right? With a little bit more, hey, are you sure you're okay? I didn't mean to step on your tail. My bad. Like, geez. Well,
Yeah, that must have hurt.
yeah, I'm gonna go watch the Level Up guys love languages so I can try to do the right thing. And I'm gonna go
Yeah.
watch the episode they did with Lexi Moulet about boundaries so we can make sure we're doing the right thing. And
Communication through conflict.
communication. Yeah, I'm gonna treat you more like I'd, treat a kitty cat. You might need a
Yeah.
little extra, a little extra love.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah. Anything else that you want to make sure we hit today?
I mean, no, I'm just gonna try to keep myself from going and getting a new cat or a new dog this afternoon. It's challenging. I guess since I don't own a car, that's good. I can't fit on my motorcycle.
There, there you go. These
Yeah,
natural barriers we set up for ourselves to block or delay impulsivity.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, so one impulsive act that we would appreciate from people is share this with a friend, right? Or at the very least, click like, follow the show. But yeah, obviously, like sharing the episodes, that's the thing that is going to be most impactful to us. If you can write a 5-star review, just that's a way of getting it into people's hands that you don't know, right? The more that the more that we can do that, the more we want to spread this leveling up journey. And we hope that you guys enjoyed our venturing into this pet territory.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't really know where it was going to go, but I'm really pleased with where it went. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, me too. And I was great. I like the lighter side, not, being a little bit more casual with the topic. And
Because,
last thing, I want to wrap around what I first said. Like, thank you guys. The reason why we're doing this is for you guys. We're looking to help you guys. So any comments and affirmation that we're doing pretty good to be able to stay engaged. Thank you so much for participating. And we'll see you next time.
yeah. Comment below about your pets.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Hey, fellow level uppers, we really appreciate you guys being with us on this journey, and we just want to let you know it. We're going to be taking a break over this holiday season and into the next year, but you can stay in touch with us and follow us on Instagram, Billy at Billy Rebel Yoga Guy, and for me, Jarrett, you can follow me at atherapist_in-therapy for related content and to stay in touch with our journeys. We're going to be releasing future Level Up Guys episodes on less of a schedule, more spontaneously, on a variety of topics on our experiences with ADHD, the struggles that we've had with codependency in our relationships, and what we've learned, the therapeutic benefits of creativity, exploring sadness, loss, the difference between anxiety and fear, motivation. I know you've heard us talk about the Enneagram personality framework as a guide for growth. That's going to be on there. Perfectionism, strategies to overcome it, and more. And we're going to let you know when new episodes come out through our Instagram account. So that's where you're going to get the info. We hope you enjoyed our final conversation of this year of the mental, emotional, and physical health benefits of having pets. If you know, you know. All right, everybody, level up.